Hey, this is Amaranth.
And this is Eminence.
Come talk with me about.
Is race political?
Yeah,
Um,
we kind of already started this one and just talked, and we realized that was interesting to us at least.
it is. It's going to be very interesting.
So
We hope you like it. It is going to be different than our usual one so far, but we're going to probably have quite a few more of these as well.
yeah, along the same vein of just like a something we hit that we're just like, oh, we kind of disagree on this, so let's talk about
A debate.
it. Yeah, a
Yeah.
debate, a healthy debate.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely. Um, so, like the title says, is race political? And maybe it's more of is racism political? Because
Yeah,
race itself, of course, is not political. It's, I don't think, yeah, it's a categorization made for people.
right.
So that's not political. But racism can be used as a political tool, is what we were.
Discussing
Yes.
like the advocacy or what I feel like is a fake advocacy for all sides. Just to be clear, I'll probably never just be like, this is what side I lean on because I hate everything and everyone, and I think we could all do better. So I'm never just gonna just be like, this is who I am. Um, you might find out eventually because we'll just be like, hey, I like this, I don't like that, blah blah blah.
All right. You
So
guys will box him in, but he will not box himself.
correct.
Um, I don't know. I feel like I'm still growing. I'm trying to make sure I keep an open mind for both sides. So I like to really take in as much information as I can. Um,
It shouldn't even be two. It should be
there shouldn't be two.
we should just have a point and then you say, how do you feel about that one point, that one specific point? Not you're on this side, so you think A, B, C, D, E, F, G. No, that don't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. And we'll go into how political parties destroy the country and how our forefathers warned against it from the get go. Probably on a different episode.
Yeah, that'll be. I like. I already want to do that one. I want to do it now. But we'll finish this one. We'll finish this one.
That'll be the next one, I guess. Um, so as I was telling Amaranth, I think Democrats or liberals or whatever you want to call them, for the most part, we find people who want to be allies or advocates, but they don't listen to the group that they're trying to advocate for. Um,
I think the difference between me and Eminence in this is that I think is much more malicious than he does. I think the false advocacy that's going around now is people just wanting the fame, the popularity, the 15 minutes of fame or whatever, and he doesn't think it's as malicious as I do.
no, 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 not at all. I think if we're talking about the people up top, then yes, most definitely they know what they're doing. They know how to weaponize it, and they do it with much more intent. But if we're talking about just the general populace, I think most of them want to help, but they have these ideas set in their head. So when they see something, they immediately want to jump on it, despite what the group they're trying to help really feels about a situation. Um, and I know you brought up, guy's name is Hassan something. I don't know.
I brought him up.
Yeah, you brought him up about the guy who was trying to advocate for
Oh yeah,
trans.
yeah. Don't even use his name.
Okay.
We don't even need people to know who he is to go look it up. He's I don't think
He-
people are garbage very often, but this man is a garbage person.
cool. So, so he evidently had a debate with some guy who was, I guess they call him transphobic or
Yeah, the man he was talking to was transgender,
right.
and this person, this garbage person, called the transgender person transphobic, and that he was just a transgender person, and he
So what
doesn't
does
know
he
what
know?
he's talking about.
Right. Now, to be clear, that's not the guy who he was debating. He had debated the guy previously or prior to that, and he had lost that debate.
Mm-hmm.
So when he lost that,
Badly.
right, I was like, oh my god, how could you lose that debate when you're trying to advocate for these people? You should definitely brush up on the issues and know what you're talking about.
Right.
Is the main issue. Um, so then after he lost that debate, a viewer of his called in, got chewed out for being a trans person who I guess doesn't know their own issues and their own struggles
Mm-hmm.
is how I interpreted it. So, he is, by all accounts, what seems to be a garbage person.
And that's where I think the false advocacy comes in, where they're just doing it to feel good about themselves. Like in this age, and I can't even call it a generational thing, like one generation. I think this age, day and age, a lot of people just want to be um, special and different, and everyone, no one can blend in. Like that is terrible. It's a crime to just blend in and be unseen. Um, from my point of view, anyway.
I think that's an interesting way to put it because I see it almost as the opposite. Like when we see people getting upset at Halloween costumes or the way people dress because of, I don't understand cultural appropriation or what people mean by cultural appropriation. Sometimes there are some examples I could probably give is like, okay, that's probably cultural appropriation. But like we're looking at Halloween and you see someone dressed as a Native American and you jump on Twitter or whatever social media to call them out for whichever reason. Like, what is the point of that fight? I mean, who cares? It's a Halloween outfit, and that's happened multiple times. I think one lady wore a kimono,
To a
and
prom or something.
right, and she really,
Most
I love kimonos. They look gorgeous.
most of the Asian culture did not care.
Did not care, but the people who were fighting for, like, oh, how could you, without listening to the people they were fighting for? It's like they don't care. Yes, it's a beautiful, beautiful. I want to call it a gown, but it's not a gown. Um, Clothing, article of clothing. I like, and what are y'all fighting for? Which is, I think, the main issue when it comes to Democratic or liberals or
Whichever side.
whichever side you're on.
I feel like your point solidified my point, saying like, what are we fighting for? They're literally taking points that are just they know it'll get big reactions from it. They have no basis. They have no nothing. They're just taking these things that'll have knee jerk reactions all over the place, blasting an onion in it for a few seconds to just be like, hey, look at me. I did this nice thing.
Right, but I think, because like you said, where we differ is their intention. I don't think they had a malicious intention, per se.
I don't think it's malicious towards the other person. I think it's malicious in the way that it's not genuine. If somebody if somebody's doing something, if somebody's giving like a homeless person on the road money and they're recording it and their real intent is to take this and make money off of doing that thing, I would consider that malicious.
Okay. Okay. I would not, I guess not necessarily malicious. Um, Maybe exploitative.
Yeah.
I can see that. I can see that. But I think the reason why this is worse because when you give the homeless guy money, it's done. Like, hey, he still appreciates it. Cool. The thing about attacking others and labeling them as racist or throwing out terms like that is when you're doing that, if you're doing it for clout, you're hurting someone's reputation, you're hurting possibly their livelihood. There's inherent pain or suffering that you're causing when you do that. So if you're doing it for clout and not for the good of the people that you're arguing for, then there's a difference there. You want to give, a homeless guy $100 and make $1,000 so you can go back and give 10 more homeless guys, do you? At the end of the day, everyone's happy at that point. Make as much money as you want. Do what you want. But if your intention is to destroy someone's career, their reputation, and just their family and whatnot, so that you can make $1,000, that is something completely different in my mind.
And that's what they do.
Right, but like I said, it's all about the intent and the maliciousness that we put in there. So for me, and I definitely try to give people the benefit of the doubt most of the time. Okay. I know you don't, but I want to say because we are mostly seeing a lot of younger people doing it, it is they do want to feel grandiose, but they also feel like they're seeing a wrongdoing. And so they do want to punish said person for that wrongdoing or hold them accountable.
But they don't hold
Air
themselves
air
accountable.
air quote. They don't a lot of times. Like they'll point out someone else's Twitter and then you go through their Twitter and they said something.
It's even worse.
It is even worse. I completely understand that, and those people are hypocrites. I mean, there's no other way to put it. But what am I trying to say? I lost my train of thought. And while they are hypocritical, I still think that their mindset when they first did it was not one of necessarily. Eh, I think they had good intentions for the people they're advocating for. They did mean to punish the ones who they called out, but their main incentive, I want to say, is for the people they're advocating for.
See, I don't agree. I think again we disagree on the foundation of it all. Yeah, I guess at the end of the day, if they're getting money, they're getting money. But I don't like the intent. I don't like the intent that you are only giving them money so you can get rich. So I don't like that intent. And the same goes for the other people. I don't think they really care about who they're advocating for. I think at the end of the day, they're just like, if I do this, people will like me. People will agree with me. I'll get fans or I'll something positive will happen to me. They're not really like this will help them. They're thinking about how this will help me, how I'll look. I don't think they're saying that race, this or that race will benefit from this. I don't think that's the mindset there.
And like I said, I can agree when it comes to like a small thing. It's like, why are we picking this battle? Who does it help? Who does it benefit? And then if you look back, the people that you're fighting for are like, we don't care. Then yeah, um, of course, on a bigger stage or in bigger stages, I do think that it's more about the people that you're arguing for. Um, but then when you get too high up, then yeah, I think it's just a tool for a lot of people on the biggest stages. So we're talking about debates and whatnot and political stages. And yeah,
It depends who you are and what you're advocating. If you're advocating for someone and you've literally done no research and have not talked to anyone, then does it really matter that you're advocating? Because you're not helping anyone. You're probably giving out wrong information and you're making the people you're trying to help look bad in the process.
right. And that's what Garbage Guy did, from my understanding. That's how I interpreted what happened.
100% garbage guy.
Okay. So then, for the keyboard warriors who are out there, just typing up stuff, that's fine if you are aware of what you know. Like if you know what you know and you know what you don't know and you speak on what you know.
But they don't.
I can't speak for everyone. Some of them do. Some of them are educated.
No one that knows anything, for the most part, there are exclusions. There are.
See? So I didn't make it a blanket statement.
But it is mostly a blanket statement. There are people who are knowledgeable, people who are really hyper intelligent and actually know what they're talking about. Do not go and shout and do the aggressive things that these people are doing. It's just not how it works.
Should they?
What do you mean should they?
Should they? The people who know the most, should they be shouting it?
Possibly, but not in an aggressive manner.
Sure, not in an aggressive manner because that just turns people away. But what I was saying was really just be aware of what you know and what you don't know. So if you only know a little bit, then speak on what you know. Don't speak on what you don't know. Take time to learn it. If you know a lot, you can speak on a lot, but still be aware of you don't know all of it, so don't speak on what you don't know. It's more what I was saying. So even though, most people out there know bits and pieces of information, I'm fine with them speaking on that little bit, the pieces that they do know. And then be open to learning. Because, and I know I've said this before, but just because you believe you're right does not mean that you're right. And so even if you are trying to teach someone or give them the little bit of knowledge that you do have, I'm completely fine with that. But yes, don't overreach. And then look for more of what you can do with organizations that are doing the same thing you want to do. If it is really what you want to do.
You see what you're doing right now? You're preaching to the choir.
I am.
The people who are going to do this are probably already doing this.
You don't know that.
And the people who are out there not doing this are going to listen to you and be like, nah. They're either going to A, just stop talking about it, or B, just be louder with their ignorance in spite of what despite what you're saying. There's no way. There's no way. There might be, again, there are always outliers, so I don't like ever saying that 100% of anything is anything, because that's what existence is, chaos. So there's always an exception. But
you know what? I feel like what we can agree on is that you should hit the subscribe button and the like button.
No.
Leave a comment and share.
I don't agree.
Oh, okay.
I'm just kidding. Do it, please.
At least leave a comment. Let us know what you think.
Okay. Thanks, guys. And we'll join you next time.
Yeah.
Maybe less angry.
No.
Same angry?
Same angry.
Okay.